Dark Souls is a fantastic franchise, slapping conventions out of the hands of gamers across the world and telling them that they love it. Which we do, it's like f***ing Stockholm Syndrome. And now that it's been announced that Dark Souls 1 is getting a remaster, what better time to look back at the franchise that's done nothing but f*** with us. To the outsider looking in, Dark Souls fans are the hardcore of the hardcore, with rules, lore, and trolling so far surpassing nearly every other title, and it's understandably quite confusing to many. And if you're one of those people who didn't learn to get good, then fat roll out of here, because this is a list for my brothers in arms who want to do me harms. With this in mind, I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 things that only Dark Souls fans will understand. Number 10. Sun praising and jolly cooperation. Being a sun bro is a rite of passage in the Souls games. Whether you love or hate these big golden bastards, it's a big deal in the universe. From their over-the-top gesture to their top lad that is Solaire, being a member of the Warriors of Sunlight is all about helping others out in their quest to find the sun. But before you think that they're just a pimped version of the Way of the White, then listen up, you hollow, as they've got some of the best spells in the game as rewards for helping out your fellow fighters. Lightning is love. Lightning is life. Well, it was until it was nerfed for days back in Dark Souls 2. Number 9. Absolutely no chests can be trusted. People often wonder why I punch my food containers around lunchtime, but the answer is actually painfully simple. I don't trust any box thanks to Dark Souls. We all remember the times in which we've struggled through an area by the skin of our teeth and spotted a wooden chest ahead. Glory upon glory. Surely there'll be some new equipment to aid my travels, you think. And then you throw up the lid and suddenly you think, boy, haha, wow, there sure are a lot of teeth in here. Oh my god, no! Mimics. These wheezing, laughing, limbed wankers. So remember this little ditty. Before you plunder, rain down that thunder, and whack each box to make sure it's actually legit. You're welcome. Number 8. Cliffs are the true enemy. There are many things that will kill you in Dark Souls. Enemies, for a start, players. For another, boulders, bosses, poison arrows, swamps. Oh, God. But anyway, the biggest killer, bar none, is this, the simple ledge. Positioning is key in Dark Souls combat, and a clever enemy or player will always try to keep ledges in front of them, forcing their opponents off. There's nothing quite like that feeling of seeing a chump take a tumble into oblivion and those sweet Ring of Souls rushing towards you. Equally though, Dark Souls is not a platformer, and it's incredibly frustrating to fall to your death from a silly little roll after a leap. However, number 7, never blame the controls. Yes, the clunk factor of the original game is high. Yes, the clipping of your jump frame had to be inch perfect to get across some areas, and yes, rolling off a ledge because you accidentally graced the thumbstick for even a nanosecond is bloody painful, but you shall never, ever critique them. It's your fault. It is you who did it wrong. The tool is only as good as its user, and in this case, the user is a tool. It's all very zen. For some veterans, the weird controls of Dark Souls are second nature. Coming at to new, though, is akin to trying to play Street Fighter against a world champion. You are utterly boned before you've even started. But that, my young saplings, is part of the journey. Number 6, a bit of common courtesy. Whether you're a player who seeks to help the community by coming to the aid of flailing hosts, or a barbarian invader looking to add more skulls to the pile, one thing is tantamount. You better f***ing bow before we fight. There's no punishment for not doing it, but not doing it just feels so wrong now that it's become so ingrained in the dueling mythos of Souls. Born out of a lack of speech function in the game, this simple nod to get the fight started has become a part of what Dark Souls is. That no matter how much ugly and disfigured evil is going on all around you, a little civility will go a long way. Number 5, the all-out balls-to-the-wall Crystal Lizard Scramble. Crystal Lizards, these slippery little customers have cropped up all over the Soulsverse, even getting a big brother boost in Dark Souls 3, Vicar. And the best thing is that they're jam-packed with goodies for you to be stealing. Problem is that they're nearly always used as bait by the devs to either force you into ambushes, into tricky-to-navigate areas, or simply off ledges. Great fun. Every Dark Souls player is now hard-coded to sprint after these little crystal-backed Burks, full well knowing it's going to lead to trouble more often than not. Oh, and the less said about those red crystal lizards, the better. Those can f*** right off. Number 4, Blighttown. Ooh, 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 ooh. "Ooh, Blighttown, you and me, buddy, are gonna have to step outside if you keep this shit up," one of the most common responses to Dark Souls getting a remaster was that Blighttown might actually be able to run at more than 4 frames per f***ing second now. This laggy, dank swamp full of poisonous expanses and dart-firing twats has become synonymous with the Dark Souls frustration. Everything about it wants to make you rip off your skin and charge through as quickly as possible to get it over and done with. Yet that's exactly the problem, as by doing this you're opening up yourself to all the finicky asshole enemies, all the f***ing annoying ladders and the ambushes and... oh, god damn it, Blighttown. Number 3. Naked runners are the best gamers in the world. No, not that kind of naked. We're not talking about people running down the street with their genitals flapping merrily in the wind, however pleasant that thought might be. What we're talking about is Dark Souls naked, where a person purposefully strips off all their protective gear, uses basic weapons, and attempts to play through the entire Dark Souls experience without actually leveling up. Yep, there's legitimately crazy people out there like this that have accomplished this mission and succeeded in what most Dark Souls players would consider the ultimate challenge. To those that have undertaken this task, you are absolutely bonkers, but we certainly doff our hats to your naked undead bits. Number 2, don't trust anyone. Not only do several of the NPC characters in Dark Souls have hidden plot lines that are more obtuse than what goes on in my shed, and some of which will always end badly for you and them, but the player base as well can provide helpful and insightful messages on the ground to give clues to other players and hidden secrets or boss battle tips. Well, that's what's meant to happen, or they can tell you to jump off a cliff in search of a treasure that doesn't exist. Most of the time you'll look at these messages and be like, haha, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 434 times, shame on me. But then again, there might actually be a treasure at the bottom. Oh, f*** you, oh, f*** you. No, it's much better to go into Souls alone and trust nobody. Paranoia has never done me any harm, no matter what you're saying behind my back. So embrace the solidarity. And number 1, that feeling. It's pretty much impossible to put the way you feel when playing Dark Souls down into words, but I will try. You know what you're playing is extremely good, but you also hate it at the same time and are constantly fearful of death. In many ways, it's similar to a survival horror, but even that feeling isn't the same one that you're getting from playing Dark Souls. The first time you enter a new area, that feeling sets in. You're extremely alert to everything that happens around you, taking in every nuance, every enemy in the distance. It's a feeling of unease, but it's also one of adventure, as you know that you probably got to this new area through hours of hardship and boss battles. Discovering that next bonfire allows a sigh of relief, but it's one that is soon replaced with dread, as you know that the warming fires will soon dwindle behind you as you venture out into the unknown. This is what it is to play Dark Souls. Bleak, infuriating, rewarding, enduring. I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't f***ing wait to go through it all again. And that's our list. Got any other things that mean a lot to you and your fellow Dark Souls? Well, let me know about them in the comment section below. And then swing by whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon.
Gosh, can you believe that person said that about that particular video on that entry? I sure can't. But you should like, share and subscribe below anyway. And also, the people who made this video, they're right here. Go follow them and give them some love. Also, there's more content, probably above my head. Check it out. Or don't. 50-50.